Hello, Revere, and welcome to the Revere Veterans and Community Show. I feel a little better today, so I hope you can bear with me. We have a special guest. His name is Nick Boer. He's a Vietnam veteran, and we're going to be talking about the Vietnam War. So welcome, Nick. But before we start, you are a Vietnam veteran, and we want to start talking about the 50th anniversary commemoration.
Yes.
So you can do it.
Oh, great. Revere is going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the commemorative partnership program. We've been a member approximately 1 year. And what the mission of the program is to thank all our Vietnam veterans and Vietnam era veterans, and especially their families. We're going to have on August 7th, Sunday, August 7th, thank you to our Vietnam veterans. And we are anticipating approximately 100 Revere residents who will be Vietnam veterans. There'll be also Purple Heart recipients, but we'll talk about that a little later. As I said, the program is to thank the Vietnam veteran and their families for what they went through during the time of the Vietnam War. And we're very, very appreciative in the city of Revere, under the leadership of Mayor Arrigo. We're going to have a ceremony and to honor them, and we're going to present a Vietnam pin to each and every attendee. So hopefully we are anticipating approximately 100, as I said, 100 Vietnam veterans, and we wish to provide them with a pin to thank them and show them to our community who our Vietnam veterans are, and they pass one another in the street and you would never know it. It's like our World War II and our Korean War veterans. And there's so many heroes walking our streets, we're unaware of it, and I've said this in prior programs, but they walk by us and we would never know that they are World War II heroes. And a lot of them made such great efforts, and Revere, I think, had 148 KIAs killed in action. Wow. During the Vietnam War, during World War II. So, they're a tremendous group, and we wish to thank them and their families, as I said earlier.
Nick, I'd like to ask you a question myself, because I'm a World War II vet, so I'm not too familiar with Vietnam. But I know it went for 20 years, from 55 to 75. Give us a little history about that.
Well, there's conflicting dates. This program recognizes them from 55 to 75. 1955 is when they sent in advisors under President Eisenhower. So, and there was a small group of men who went in and just to advise the South Vietnamese as to how to fight. And that's, the VA doesn't recognize 55. They consider that period a peacetime veteran, but so that's not until 1962 when they start recognizing.
So it's only.
Yeah. So the thing is they have made a tremendous contribution to the United States government. So, but there's the dates a little conflicting, but that's the 55 to 62 is debatable.
I want to throw this at you. I get criticized a lot of times when people that were in the Vietnam War during the years, they say, no, it's the Vietnam era. I don't understand what they mean, Vietnam era. Could you?
Well, Vietnam era is sort of the same time period. If you were in the military during that period of time, you were considered to be. They use that term a lot for veterans who were in the military at the time, but did not actually have boots on the ground in Vietnam. So
I see.
That's where the difference is. I mean, they have blue water sailors.
Let me ask you this. If I was stationed in Washington, D.C., let's say in the year 1968,
Yeah.
while the Vietnam War was
You're an
going
era
on,
veteran, yeah.
would I be considered a Vietnam veteran or a
Vietnam era veteran.
Vietnam era?
Era veteran.
Because
yeah.
I wasn't actually in Vietnam.
You are, yeah. Most of the Vietnam veterans, they had it's boots on the ground, and I said, as I said, the blue water, the brown water, which were the sailors that were on boats on rivers and different waterways there. And then also the blue water, they just recently recognized the blue water veterans, the sailors who didn't have boots on the ground, but they were in the Vietnam waters, and they're approving now for Agent Orange benefits.
That's good. I have another question for you. We lost, I think on their, that list they gave you was on the Vietnam. How many were actually won it? But we didn't win the Vietnam War, did we, according to...
Well, no, we didn't, and it was with what was going on in the country at the time. There was riots and a lot of
Right here at home.
at home, and so we actually pulled out of Vietnam before any war was won. So.
Could I read something if I may?
Sure.
It's very short.
Sure, it's your show.
Can I? Okay. No, it's our show. No, I asked a question, and I didn't know that who won the war in Vietnam. I always thought we did. But according to this, the question of who won the Vietnam War is a contentious and emotional one because opinions in the United States were so divided because of the riots
Right.
while the war was happening. However, North Vietnam ultimately achieved all of its strategic goal while the United States did not achieve one. So I guess we didn't do too good in that war, but we lost over 50,000 lives.
58,000, yeah.
58,000.
So, well, that was a problem, and everybody knows that the politicians didn't allow the generals to run the war. It was a political war, and that's why we didn't do too well in it.
Right. The only thing I remember myself about the Vietnam War is an officer by the name of Kelly, was the one that was a lieutenant.
Oh, yeah, My Lai.
Right.
Right.
Incident there.
Right.
Could you give us a little history on what happened if you can remember it? I can't even remember his name, to be honest.
Yeah. I know it. You're taxing me now.
Okay, I think it was killing the kids.
It was killing. Yeah, they killed a lot of children, and
Yep.
although you got to understand, when you're in combat,
Oh, I agree with you. I know what you're going to say.
you know, it's like the tension is amazing. I mean, it's almost unbearable. And, for these guys to be out there in where children would shoot you, they let their emotions more or less take over, and they killed a number of children, which was reported, and and this is why a lot of Vietnam veterans to this date suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder. It was because of the tension and seeing what they did see, and it took it had an emotional effect on these veterans, these Vietnam veterans, and they did things that normally they would never have done, and but you got to put yourself under in their spot and in their shoes, and it was a terrible thing, no question about it.
Right. You know, a lot of people say me, as myself, as a World War II veteran, and I had boots on the ground there in Germany, and they consider us the greatest generation, but I also believe the Korean, the Vietnamese, the Gulf Wars, every veteran is part of the greatest generation, and you people were just being on it a little too late. So I want to say on behalf of us, we love you.
Well, it's mutual affection between veterans. I mean, I was fortunate. I wasn't in combat, but we anticipated when I was in basic training there was the bear pigs, and we thought we were going into combat from basic training. So it's always that tension that you don't know, and you have to be available. Well, you're available. You got to go.
Right.
You know.
You're on 24-hour call.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why we want to honor all our veterans and show that the city of Revere and the state of Massachusetts really appreciate our veterans, and we can't say enough good things about them. There was some bad issues, but we want to emphasize on the good.
Right. You know, during the Second World War, and I remember because I was a young kid at the time, when we bombed Germany, we didn't worry about civilian casualties. We just bombed where we had to bomb. Today, you can't shoot if they're they could fire from a hospital, or they could fire from a mosque or wherever they want to, but you can't fire back because you might kill some innocent people in there. That's not the way to win a war, and I think that when we send soldiers to fight overseas today and we tie their hands behind their back, I think we're actually sending them on a suicide mission, Nick. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I sort of feel the same way too. I mean, if you're fighting a war, look at the war in Syria, how many casualties, civilian casualties there are. No matter what war there is, there's going to be casualties. Someone's going to make a mistake, hit the wrong target. But most people are just going to try to do the best job that they can possibly do.
Right. You know, you started to mention during what we were talking about the Vietnam War about the Purple Heart ceremony that you're also going to be having. Give us a little history on that if you can.
Yes. Last year
was that the first year, Tom?
It was the first year. Last year I applied to be a Purple Heart, Revere to be a Purple Heart community.
Edit, right?
And we went through the paperwork and with the State Department of Purple Heart recipients, and they approved us, and one of their requirements are that we honor all our Purple Heart recipients every year on August 7th. And last year was the first year, and it was kind of a hit and miss type of thing, but we had a great ceremony. This year, with the assistance of June Denon from the Beachmont Post, VFW, June and her Ladies Auxiliary, they took the ball, they helped me out tremendously, and I thank June very, very much. June, they've been getting donations and trying to offset some of the expenses for the dinner, which we're going to be having. We're going to have the Purple Heart recipients and their families attend at no charge. the Vietnam veteran will attend at no charge. Unfortunately, we're looking for a donation of $20 for those who don't, who are not Vietnam veterans or Purple Heart recipients and family. But we're going to have June is taking care of it. She's done a tremendous job. I can't say enough for her. She's like Donna in my office. I mean, they're irreplaceable. And but they're going to have Henry's catering service. It's going to be a sit-down meal, and everyone will be served the meal.
And what is the meal going to consist of?
The meal is a chicken dinner.
Favorite.
And it's a chicken dinner. They were contemplating other roast beef for this, and then some people don't like their roast beef rare or undercooked
So it's going to be
or overcooked or whatever. So we decided it would be probably best to go with the chicken, and the meal is very good, and it's from soup to nuts. So the salad and the macaroni. So June is doing a great job, and I want to thank June and the Ladies Auxiliary and the VFW in Beachmont for allowing us to utilize the hall, and the members have been very good to us also.
right.
So,
And who's the new commander there? Thomas
Tom, yeah,
Basio? I don't know if I got his name right. Don't.
Tom Basardi.
Anyway, Tom. you're
Tom is
doing
a great guy.
job.
I know Tom and his wife for many years. They're very nice people, and they're very hardworking.
I'm going to see how smart you are.
Okay.
Only one president received the Purple Heart. Can you tell me who it is?
Oh,
Think.
was it 3 initials?
Now you got me stumped.
Yeah, don't take off your shoes.
Yeah, it was three.
JFK, yeah.
Right, you're very good.
Right.
Very good. I never knew that.
Yeah.
And the reason you picked August the 7th is not because you picked it. George Washington actually picked that day.
Yes, George Washington, the Purple Heart initially was, they had a ribbon, which was George Washington gave to people for injuries and during the Purple Heart, the beginning of the Purple Heart. It was just a piece of felt with the purple felt, and so it wasn't. It had its shaky history during the Civil War, and but General MacArthur. He started it up again in 1932, I believe.
Right, February the 22nd, 1932.
Right. So, oh, okay.
It's all yours.
Oh, okay. Look at that. So, yeah, General MacArthur. A matter of fact, he was the first recipient of that award in 1932.
Right.
The medal was primarily designed to recognize meritorious service. The Purple Heart is also given to soldiers wounded or killed in battle. MacArthur was given Purple Heart #1. So yeah, it's the thing is there was every member, 148 KIAs here in Revere actually are recipients of that Purple Heart.
Nick, excuse me. Over there's a list of all the Purple
yeah,
Heart.
well-
Just give us a clue of how many from the wars that are on there.
Okay, just to give you an idea,
That's an estimate, by the way.
yes, there were in World War I there was 320,518 Purple Heart recipients.
That's World War I.
World War II was 1 million. 76,245. Korea was 118,650. Vietnam was 351,794. Persian Gulf, 607. Afghanistan War, 7,027.
Wow.
And that figure is as of June 2010. And the Iraqi War was 35,321. So, as you can see, a number of our soldiers have been wounded or killed in the line of duty, protecting our nation.
Can I look at this for a minute?
Hey, enjoy yourself.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
So,
that's fantastic. Any more things on here on the Purple Heart you'd like to?
well, I just would like to say that we're going to be honoring the Purple Heart recipients to celebrate with your heroes on Sunday, a family-style dinner. We're going to have a DJ and a raffle. Donation per person is $20. Also, as I said earlier, we're going to the commemorative Vietnam 50th anniversary. Any monies that we make on this program, I don't think we're going to make much money, but whatever profits we do will be donated to the Purple Heart organization. So, as I said, the VFW is going above and beyond in providing the services of the facility there, and the members they're really working very, very hard. And so we want to thank them.
We have one more thing to say, but before I do that, I understand that if you were a prisoner of war and injured by your captors, you also received the Purple Heart during the war?
Yes, if you were injured, we...
So those people that died at the Bataan Death March, we'll say,
Yes,
they would get the Purple Heart?
yes, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because that was a question asked
Well,
by someone.
yeah, it's something that a lot of guys. I'm working right now with a guy that he claims that he has a certificate that he received the Purple Heart,
That's
but
right.
there was no indication on his DD Form 214, his discharge papers, that he received the Purple Heart. So we have to try to get that resolved, and we're gonna, consider him. We'll take him for his word right now, and he'll be one of the honorees.
Good.
So we intend on having Representative DeLeo, our speaker, and a state rep, Joe Boncory, Rep Rosalie Vincent, and of course Mayor Arrigo will be giving a...
Nick, excuse me, you talk about honoring. We only have about 3.5 minutes left. We have a lady that you wanted to honor who did the knitting club for you,
Yeah.
Lois Diamond. So why
Lois-
don't you do it? Because you said you wanted to do it before we even went on the air.
I was, as a matter of fact, I was informed today that Lois Diamond is going to be, she retired, and it really surprised me, and I was unaware that she was considering it. But she is retiring, and Lois has done so much for our veterans and soldiers in the military today. Lois has a knitting club at the senior center, and they have made hats.
Blankets.
They've made lap blankets for the wheelchair victims. I've taken some of these blankets up to the soldiers' home where the guys who or in the wheelchairs. Sometimes they put them over their shoulders because there's drafty up there, and but the organization, Women's Club in the Nitty Club, I should say, in the senior center, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. You women have done a tremendous job, and we're very fortunate here in Revere because we've been blessed with the Knitting Club in Lower's Diamond, and we've also been blessed with the Women's Club, the Revere Women's Club. They've been tremendous contributors, and again, I can't say enough of them. Each year they give us a large check for the troops, as well as.
That's right. We were honored a few years back by them.
That's right.
The Patriot, not the Patriot, the Women's Club right
Women's
here
Club.
on.
Right. Yes.
The Boys Club is that place.
Yes. The youth center.
The youth center, right?
Yeah.
You and I were honored by them.
So they do a good job, and the Patriots Women's Club has made sizable donations to Operation Troop Support, and we're very thankful to Rose Napolitano and her group of women there.
Right. So, Nikki, I want to say thank you for coming on the show to tell us about the Vietnam commemorate and the Purple Heart things. So God bless you, Nikki, and hope to see you again with future good things there.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for our Purple Heart recipients.
Yep, and thank you for the people of Revere for listening, but most of all, God bless our troops out there, wherever you may be. God take good care of them. But God bless our great country, the United States of America, and make sure you keep the Pledge of Allegiance as a school unto one God, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, folks.